Aloha, I'm Raymond Diaz. Today I'll be presenting my research on the problems with overtourism and a sustainable solution. Today's agenda we will discuss the definition of overtourism, the causes, the effects of it, how we can mitigate those effects, some statistical data, possible solutions, and closing statements. Large crowds, overpacked train stations, long queue lines, overpriced souvenirs, loud noises, and con artists trying to rip you off. Those are all the signs that you're on a vacation. But instead of it being relaxing, you're left stressed out and wishing you were back home. This is the reality for many travelers due to the increasing problem of overtourism. Overtourism happens when locals and travelers experience change due to an influx of people at a desired location. The phenomenon is creating a problem for locals and visitors, while negatively impacting the environment and infrastructure. While there are many reasons why people travel, understanding what influences those decisions is key to figuring out solutions. Advancement in modern transportation effectiveness and limitless accommodation choices allow for more opportunities for people to explore the world. There are three contributors to overtourism: the rise of the middle class, the sharing economy, and the effects of social media. At the end of 2016, there were 3.2 billion people in the middle class. In a couple of years, the majority of the world's population may be mostly middle class or wealthy households. Sharing economy is an economic model of peer-to-peer sharing that provides goods and services. Uber, Lyft, and Airbnb are some examples. This allows travelers to spend less money on hotels and transportation and more on potential places to see while on vacation. But the leading contributor to overtourism is the impact of social media, influencers, and marketers. Humans are consumers of great experience and instant gratification. So you can see what marketers use social media as a persuasive way to frame the fear of missing out on certain experiences. Television and social media have broadcast showings the top 10 locations to visit and bucket list travels. These are all correlated to the increase of the number of foreign travelers. These are key reasons for what causes overtourism. With an influx of travelers, countries of destination hotspots have noted a rise in property taxes, crime, closure of small businesses, and the change in its authenticity of the city. Ultimately, this gentrification led residents to leaving the city center to neighboring communities. Additionally, experts say that too many tourists can change and damage fragile environments, landmarks, scare wildlife away, and crowd narrow roads. Kruzek provided statistical data to illustrate examples from Poland, where he witnessed excessive numbers of visitors in Krakow. Krakow is a UNESCO World Culture and Heritage Site winner and is experiencing an increase of international travelers. As you can see in the figure to the left, the population in Krakow decreased roughly from 49,000 in 2004 to 33,000 in 2016. While we can see on the figure to the right, the numbers of day trippers increased from 5.5 million in 2004 to over 12 million in 2016. The United Nations World Tourism Organization conducted research on published courses of action. As you can see on the slide, examples of these tools used by cities to achieve sustainable tourism included daily quota on tourist arrivals and on entrances to historic buildings, restriction on short-term rentals, and limiting the entry of large ferries to local ports. Whereas in Venice, long-time tourist destination for travelers all over the world, implemented a daily city tax on tourists, fining for littering, implementing dress codes. If governments understand the negative effects of tourism on the destination, they can develop the capacity to manage the future expansion of the industry. In conclusion, overtourism is, if not remedied, will leave many tourist destinations vulnerable to negative impacts. Each destination poses its unique challenges. With the continued proactive research and documentation of lessons learned, this issue will be more manageable. Restrictions and controls should continue to be placed on factors that cause over-tourism. The rise of the middle class, social media, and shared economy shouldn't be a burden, but an avenue for progress. Over-tourism is manageable and will be avoided if proper city development plans are made and implemented. It is also necessary to create openness management products that produce effective achievements that are predictable and planned. Responsibility doesn't only lay with governments and tourist destinations, but also on travelers as well. Responsible travelers must ensure to practice sustainable ways of traveling and remain conscious of their carbon footprint in the process. These are the references I used for my research. Pending your questions, this concludes my brief.